Hello again. Welcome to a new class. Welcome to class number 1018. 1018. Oh, we'll continue to 1200. After that, I'm going to try to stop at 1200. Ya está bien, ¿no? 1200 classes. All right. Expressions, page 122. 122 at the top. I'll eat my hat. I'll eat my hat. Se dice eso mucho, I'll eat my hat. Comeré mi sombrero. Si eso es verdad. Okay. That means, me comeré mis propias palabras. Okay, if that's true, I'll eat my hat. Yes. All men are created equal. Are you sure about that? Perfect. I'll eat my hat. If I'm not sure, I'll eat my hat. The next one, in a foul mood, page 122. The second one, in a foul mood. In a good mood, de buen humor. In a bad mood. Marta's in a good mood today. Yes, a bubbly mood. Está de humor burbujeante hoy. Yeah, she's in a bubbly mood. But in a foul mood means está humor de perros, digamos. Foul, F-O-U-L, como una falta en baloncesto, foul, a personal foul, falta personal en baloncesto es personal foul, foul, F-O-U-L, foul. Now to be in a foul mood is, el horno no está para bollos, eh? The boss is in a foul mood today. I'm in a foul mood today, in a foul mood. The third one on page 122, in a nutshell, dámelo en una cáscara de nuez. Sí, en resumidas cuentas, en pocas palabras. O sea, dámelo para que pueda caber en una cáscara de nuez. Give it to me in a nutshell. It's very common, eh? In a nutshell, en una cáscara de nuez estoy... Me mudo. Huh? Where are you going? In a nutshell, I'm moving. You're going to move to a different city? Yeah. In a nutshell means in in short. In short means en resumidas cuentas. En corto, en resumidas cuentas. But we say also in a nutshell. Especially an explanation. Can you explain the reason? Well, in a nutshell, it's pencils are better than pens because they're cheaper. In a nutshell. In a nutshell. Nut means fruto seco. No significa nuez. Y esta nuez es la manzana de Adán. Adam's apple. We don't say nuez. We say Adam's, la manzana de Adán. Adam's apple. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, her son's idol, has a clear Adam's apple. But nut, we have walnut. Walnut is nuez. Peanut, cacahuete. Peanut. Hazelnut, I can't remember. A hazelnut is avellana. Hazelnut. Cashew nut is cashew, I don't remember. And there are many nuts. And nut also means loco. That's nuts. You're nuts. That's nueces. Means you're nuts. Means you're the nutty professor. El profesor chiflado. Se decía the nutty professor. Yeah. Nutty. Doble T griega. Also the absent-minded professor. El profesor despistado. The absent-minded and the nutty. Both are the two different movies. The absent-minded professor and the nutty professor. In a nutshell, and finally, in a pickle. Estoy en un buen pepinillo. Estoy metido en un pepinillo que no veas. Estoy metido en un buen lío. En un aprieto también en a pickle. I'm in a pickle. Picle. Seca en medio. Pickle. Now it's interesting. A pickle is pepinillo. However, in Great Britain and in Ireland, they say gherkin. They don't say pickle. Pickle is American. However, the expression, estar metido en un lío, estar en un aprieto, usan pickle, la palabra americana. He's in a pickle. No dicen he's in a gherkin. He's in a pickle. I'm in a real pickle. My God, I don't know what to do. I'm in a real pickle. I have a big problem. All right. We shall continue another day with this, with these expressions. My God. I think I'm past halfway, right? He pasado la mitad? I think I'm past halfway. I think I'm past halfway. All right. Gain fluency. In this one, yes, I'm past halfway, eh? Way past halfway. All right. Gain fluency. Page 66. At the top. He drives fast. Yeah. Once he reached 220 kilometers an hour. Oh. He says he's a good driver. And it's true. But if he ever has a blowout or encounters a deer, he won't have time to say goodbye. All right. This is interesting. He's a fast driver. Fast. Once he reached 220 kilometers per hour. Una vez alcanzó esa velocidad, 220 kilómetros a la hora. So it's very, that's dangerous. Don't you think? Very, very dangerous. He says he's a good driver, but I'm a good driver. I control well. I'm a good driver, and it's true. He's a good driver. But if he ever has a blowout or encounters a deer, he won't have time to say goodbye. No tendrá tiempo para despedirse de este mundo. He won't have time to say goodbye. Yeah, he drives very fast, and it's true, he's a very good driver. But if he has a blowout, un reventón de rueda de neumático, at 200 kilometers an hour, at 180, good luck. Or a deer, salta un ciervo, un jabalí, you're dead if you're driving too fast. So when you drive fast, many people drive fast and they're very, very good drivers, very skilled drivers. But you don't control 100% of the potential eventualities. You don't control it. Maybe 99%. But there's a 1% that can kill you. So you need to be careful. I remember driving once from Barco de Avila to Madrid, coming back. And between Piedrahita and Avila Capital, in un recta, it was straight, at night, and the trees. And I was driving probably 160. I was driving too fast. There's no cars. And I was driving a Jaguar. And in front of me was a wild boar, un jabalí. And you know, people say, don't swerve, just run over it. That's impossible. Your natural reaction is to swerve. And I swerved. And the car, I was ready to die. But the car went, and it stayed on the road. That Jaguar's suspension was outstanding. If I had been in a different car, I'm not sure if I would be here now. But that Jaguar, or God, somebody was watching over me, velando por mí. I don't know. But so you need to be really careful, especially at night, because the animals come out at night. Many animals, the deer, the wild boar, many of them are night creatures more than day creatures. In any case, he drives fast. Once he reached 220 kilometers an hour. Claro, 220 kilómetros por hora o a la hora. 3 veces por semana, 3 veces a la semana. Hay dos formas en español y hay dos formas en inglés. 3 veces por semana, 3 times per week, 3 times a week. 2 veces por hora, 2 times per hour, 2 times an hour, twice an hour. Okay. Normally we say a or an. Aquí dice 220 kilometers an hour. O sea, literalmente 220 kilómetros, 1 hora. An hour. A mile. 220 miles an hour. And so you remember this. Twice a week, 3 times a month, once a year, 200 kilometers an hour. Okay? He drives fast. Once he reached 220 kilometers an hour. He says he's a good driver. And it's true. He says he's a good driver, and it's true. But, si alguna vez sufre un reventón, but if he ever has, si alguna vez tiene un reventón, if he ever has a blowout or encounters a deer, he won't have time to say goodbye. He won't have time. It's a danger. He won't have time to say goodbye. Is Javi a fast driver? No. He's a careful driver. All right. Do you know how to drive? Yeah. Are you a careful driver? Me, no. Well, I'm a fast driver. Less now, but all my life, I've been lucky. All right. The next one, the second paragraph on page 66. It was really nice of you to say those kind words about me. Thank you. It was really nice for you to say those kind words about me. Kind words. Eso. It was really nice. Fue realmente majo por parte tuya, muy simpático y agradable. It was really nice of you to say those kind words about me. Yeah. Kind means amable. Kind. Generoso, bondadoso. Amable en el sentido de generoso. Kind. Kind words. Me como la D de kind. Kind words. Kind words. Fue muy bueno por tu parte decir esas palabras tan amables sobre mí, about me, acerca de mí, mi persona. It was really nice of you. It was really nice of you. That's very nice of you. That's very kind of you. Es muy bueno de tu parte. Es muy, agradable de tu parte. Es muy generoso de tu parte. It's very kind of you. It's very nice of you. Of you. It was very nice of you to say those kind words about me. Yeah. I hope I deserve them. I hope I deserve them. I hope I deserve them. I hope that I deserve them. Espero que yo los merezca, o las merezca, las palabras. I hope that I deserve them. Ahora, quitemos a that en medio. I hope I deserve them. Ahora, en la hacemos, I hope I deserve them. Parece una tribu indio. Los Hopis. I hope I deserve them. It was really nice of you. It was really nice of you. So thank you. It was really nice of you to say those kind words about me. I hope I deserve them. I hope I deserve them. Yes. Margaret told me you spent the whole afternoon with the Queen. What's she like? Margarita, mi amiga. Margaret told me you spent the whole afternoon with the Queen. Pasaste la tarde entera con la reina. ¿Cómo es? What's she like? What is she like? Yeah, I heard. Margaret told me you spent the whole entire afternoon with the Queen. What's she like? I've never met the Queen. I've never spoken to the Queen. What's she like? Yeah. Once I spoke to La Infanta. Yeah. Elena. She was very, very nice. Yeah. We coincided at a special place that taught kids, children and adolescents, how to cook. It was a place to learn how to cook. But I was there talking with the owner to talk about cooking and English. But at the same time, the Princess Elena arrived with her boy when he was still little. And so she knew who I was. She knew who I was. And so we had a nice conversation. It was a very, very pleasant conversation. Yeah, very intelligent. Her English is very good. Her English is almost perfect. But it is true that the Queen Sophia, when the children were growing up, she spoke to them only in English. So English was the first language in the house, really, for the three, for the current king and for the sisters. All right. So, but in this case, the Queen, I haven't met the Queen. It was really nice of you to say those kind words about me. I hope I deserve them. I hope I deserve this. Espero que los merezca, o las merezca. Las buenas palabras que has dicho. Margaret told me, Margaret, my aunt, my great aunt, mi tía abuela, parte de madre, my mother's aunt, my great aunt was Margaret Crosby. All her life, she walked with a cane because she was born with a defect. Yeah, she was born with a defect. One of her legs was shorter than the other. And so she had all her life to wear a cane. She was a wonderful woman. Wonderful. She never married. And I saw her often. She lived in Austin, Texas. And she had a Texas accent. And she wasn't Margaret. She was Margaret. Margaret. Yeah, John. Hey, Philip, this is Margaret. Margaret. She worked as the receptionist in a funeral home. Claro, aquí las funerarias son del estado o del municipio. O sea, tanatorio se dice, no se dice funeraria. But no, ahí tienen diferentes competidores y empresas privadas de pompas fúnebres. And so, tienes que atraer clientela. Come to me, you know. And she was the receptionist. She was so nice. And she spent half of her time, of course, together with the clients, those clientes, crying with them, all right? Because in the United States, it's different. Here, if a person dies, you have, I think, 48 horas, I think it's 48 hours. And it's very efficient, you know, to the tanatorio, pam. There, no. Well, it's efficient, but it's different. If a person dies, normally you have an agreement with a funeral home. The funeral home takes the body and embalms it. They embalm the body and prepare the body in a coffin or casket, el ataúd. And for 1 week, 5 days, 6 days, the family visits the funeral home with a specific room because the body's embalmed, so it's not a problem. And then they have the funeral and the burial. You see this in the movies. Here you have the burial, and then maybe 1 week later, la misa funeral, the mass, funeral mass. There, no. First you have the funeral mass. Sometimes the coffin it's open casket. Sometimes it's not. And then all the cars go to the cemetery for the final burial. It's different. They're completely different. Both are good. There it's a private industry. Here it's public. You see. Municipal usually, I think. Municipal. But in any case, All right. Margaret told me you spent the whole afternoon with the Queen. ¿Cómo es ella? What's she like? What's she like? What is she like? ¿Cómo es ella en inglés? What is she like? How is she is ¿cómo está ella? ¿Está mejor? ¿Está bien? It's completely different. How is she? What is she like is ¿cómo es? What's she like? ¿Cómo eres tú? What are you like? ¿Cómo soy? What am I like? Do you want to know what I'm like? Yeah, but the Queen, what's she like? Okay, the third paragraph, page 66. How much time? We okay? Yeah, we're okay. All right, when Sam asked me how long... All right, when Sam asked me, me preguntó, asked me, pero los nativos decimos asked, I-C-T. Así pronunciamos asked. When Sam asked me how long it took Moses to build the ark, I thought about it for a second and said 6 months. Then Sam reminded me that it was Noah, not Moses, who built the ark. 5 minutes? We have five minutes, all right. Sometimes Marta and I, we use hand signals, all right? But sometimes she confuses me. You see, and then I'm unsure. And sometimes she forgets. And suddenly she says, cut, stop, goodbye. Yeah, after, después de 1018 programas, creo que lo hemos hecho muy bien. We've done it very, very well. All right. So, when Sam asked me how long it took Moses to build the ark, I said, Richard, sí, ¿cuánto tiempo tardó Moisés en construir el arca? No sé, 6 meses? No fue Moisés, fue Noé. All right. When Sam asked me how long it took Moses to build the ark, I thought about it, and said 6 months. I thought about it and said 6 months. Then Sam reminded me that it was Noah, not Moses, who built the ark. Okay, that's a trick, Sam. Es un chistoso el Sam este. Yeah, so it's a trick. Yeah, it took, I don't know how long it took Noah, Moses. It took Noah, maybe it took him 6 months, maybe 1 year, I don't know. But it took him a long time to build the ark. It's a very big ark. And Moses, it took Moses 40 years to enter the promised land. Because when the Jews escaped from Egypt and crossed the Red Sea, opening the waters to the Sinai Peninsula, they spent 40 years before Joshua. Moses didn't enter. Moses was not allowed by God to enter the promised land. But Joshua and the tribes entered after 40 years because God was angry with the Jews. Because when Moses was up on the top of Mount Sinai talking to God and with the 10 Commandments, the Jews became impatient and they built the golden calf. Calf, escrito C-A-L-F, calf, L muda, calf. Calf es una vaquilla, un becerro, en este caso el becerro de oro. The golden, el becerro dorado, decimos en inglés. The golden calf. And they built a golden calf and worshipped that calf, rindiendo culto a él. And Moses came down and God said to Moses, you need to return. Your people are getting out of control. Yeah. And he went down and they were worshiping a golden calf. And he threw the 10 Commandments, bam, destroyed the calf. But one of the punishments was 40 years wandering in the desert before entering the promised land. Very good. Moraleja, the moral of the story. Siempre decía of the story en inglés. Dicen la moral de la historia o el moral de la historia. The moral of the story is the promised land, la tierra prometida en nuestras vidas, requires work. It's not something immediate. We have to work hard. To learn English well, you need to work hard. 40 years in the desert? No. But you need to work hard. Everything that is valuable in life requires focus, effort, strength, willpower. Willpower is fuerza voluntad. Willpower and things. So, do we have time for one more, Marta? Do we have time for one more? Maybe. I don't think so. Yeah. The next paragraph, I'm going to talk about it tomorrow. It's about white sands. White sands, arenas blancas. White sands is an area in the state of New Mexico in which the sand, la arena es de este color, the sand in this color, it's impressive. But I'll talk about that maybe tomorrow. Take care.